I just got off Instagram and someone had the song, "Whoa, woohoo!" Where is my mind? Where is my mind? It's by James Blunt, right? That's the version that I know. All along, I just assumed that he's the original person because I had never heard the song before. So when I saw that on Instagram just now, in that person's story, I Shazammed it and looked it up. Turns out it's by the Pixies or Pixie or whatever. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And now the song is stuck in my head. So speaking of where is my mind, quick side note. I want to make a PSA to a person who does not deserve what it looks like I did to them today. Today being Sunday, February 2nd or January 33rd, 2025 at 5:15 right now in the evening. However, I was in the middle of something with this person and I accidentally look like I disappeared. It was not on purpose. 1,000 apologies. Text me on Instagram at babalabrook. Gracias. Wait, no. Por favor. Por favor. If your name starts with an E and ends with a T. For everyone else, I hate to leave you out of this. However, in due course, I will share with you what I can about this whole thing. And maybe it'll serve as a lesson to us all. Now, this coming up episode is, man, let me tell you what. I'm like listening to it and I myself am laughing. Thank God I get my own sense of humor. It really started off as about a PMDD journal. PMDD meaning premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I've talked a little bit about this in previous episodes. It's a form of PMS, premenstrual syndrome. However, I talked about birth control and I don't mean to laugh. The differences between how I've experienced it in South Africa and here in the United States. Trigger warning, I do talk about the R word in South Africa. I talk about the stats as I remember them. R word as in rape. And, the fears and what it feels like to be a female in a country that's basically number one in rape in the world, reportedly. So, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And then I talk a little bit about AIDS. And because, that's the kind of stuff you talk about when you come here to record about PMS, apparently. Having babies and other PMS symptoms, mainly in this episode, we covered the shitty aspect of things. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So honestly, we talked about constipation and perhaps how you can curb it. And sometimes what happens, at least in my situation, when I think I've figured out how to do so. It's very, very punny. Join us on our Facebook group. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut this out. Babbling Brook Podcast on Facebook. That's our group. Join us, please. And you can follow us on Instagram at Babbling Brook Podcast there, too. The blog is babalabrook.com. My own personal social media is at babalabrook, all across the board. What did I not tell you? Check out my eBay stores. The Lovely Brook, My Brook, Tracker Brook, and The Brook. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But everyone will leave, inshallah, whether I forget something or not. Enjoy! I want to hear back from you. Please share the show and like it and follow us and subscribe. Do all the lovely things that kids nowadays say you should. I want a taste of some of that too. Thank you. Toodles! Where is my mind? Testing. Just kidding. Good morning, everyone. It's 8:36 in the morning on April 25th. I feel like it's been April forever, which can be a good thing considering I've been feeling like time has been flying since this year started. So maybe, time is slowing down a bit in my mind. Here's another PMS diary episode. So, gentlemen, I will understand if you don't want to hear this one, but maybe you will benefit some from listening, as you may have a female or 2 or 6 in your life. Maybe this will help answer some questions. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will help you answer questions that haven't been asked by them by being like, hey, are you sure when's your period due? But be careful how you say that. If someone is frustrated and irritable and your response to them is, when is your period due? Yeah, that can be, if they're maybe constipated all of a sudden and craving things and whatever, maybe you may ask that question. But then again, when it comes to the latter, the part of cravings, and you're asking them, hey, is your period coming up? You want to be careful with that because, people don't want to be called fat or pigs or whatever. Just saying. So you want to tread lightly. Here's that word. I never know if it's thread with an H or treadmill. Also, it's tread lightly. I wish I had a treadmill. I need to put it in my vision board. So, my period hasn't come yet. I still hope that it does anytime soon. The last one it started because apparently it's 28 days from the first day of your last period that your next period will start. Get it? That was a long sentence. So, my last period started on March 30th because I journal that in my calendar. March 30th, plus that's going to be an easy one, right? Because it's basically the last day of the month. So 28th of April 27th of April should be, the next one should start. That's why I said a few days ago when I recorded the previous episode that I was expecting it any day now. I've noticed that, and I'm pretty regular, which is kind of, I'm used to it now, but growing up, that was not a thing for me. Maybe because I was I wasn't the pill. I was, what is it called in America? It's called the injection in South Africa, but I think there's another. But I was on the injection. I was on birth control, but the injection, the one they stick a needle in your butt, that's the one that was popular in my days. I don't know what's going on there now. But I realized that in America, it's the pill, I'm on the pill, the pill, which is very interesting. It's one of those, I don't know if it's a culture, but cultural differences that you continuously see between two different worlds, really. Because with us, that was what was normal. You just go and get stuck in your butt and you come back after 3 months and they do it again. I used to do that even though I wasn't sexually active. I started as soon as you're young, you're learning, and you're growing, you're maturing, you're whatevering. And I realized, okay, this place right here that I'm growing up in, South Africa, is a jungle. Pardon the pun. And I was like, I'm going to have to figure out ways to protect myself. Because when I had my first period, my mom had that talk. It wasn't a talk, it was one sentence. But my mom mentioned that starting from now, if you have sex with a boy, you will get pregnant. And I thought, oh, hell, nah. I was just like, no, like I was so young. The thought, and now I'm this age, and still the thought, I don't have any children. I never wanted them. So I was like, no, you don't need specifics. But I realized, not when I started my period, later on, but I was still young. I was just like, yeah, let me go ahead. Nobody needs to know this, but I'm going to go to the clinic. Oh my God, I just realized I actually never told anybody. I went to the clinic and I was like, yeah, can we take care of this? They were like, you need to come when you're on your period, because they want to know that you're not already pregnant. I mean, you could test me, but that was the procedure back then. So I said, okay. When I was on my period, I took a walk to the clinic, didn't tell no freaking body. And she said, I want to see. I was like, yep. Pull down my whatever I had, sanitary towel situation, showed the lady, which was, not uncomfortable at all, #sarcasm, and stuck the thing in my butt. And I was like, thank God, I don't have to worry about if I'm raped, whether I'm going to get pregnant again. That was the thought process. And that's why I said I was growing up in a jungle. Because up until recently, I haven't checked the statistics. Like, actually, I check them often, which probably something I need to mention in therapy. When I do go to therapy, hopefully I will go to therapy. South Africa has the number one highest rate of rape in the world, and probably also of HIV. But we're talking about my reason for starting to get on the birth control. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do that, because I'm going to try to stop them if they try to rape me, but I'm not trying to be pregnant with somebody's baby who raped me, God forbid. And now I got to deal with, oh, shoot, what am I going to do with this baby? That's a whole nother decision that I'm not trying to deal with. My life was interesting enough growing up. That was the last thing that I wanted to worry about. So I took care of that problem. Wow, I can't believe I haven't thought about this in so long. So that's what I would do. When I was, just as a sidebar, when I was sexually active, at some point eventually, which came years later, when I was sexually active, because I didn't want to get AIDS, so now we're talking about AIDS, because I didn't want to get AIDS, I was like, okay, so the injection that I'm getting, which apparently was also making me fat, but it's a conversation for another day. Apparently that was one of the side effects. Oh gosh, just whatever. Was going to protect me from pregnancy, but it wasn't going to protect me from HIV. I'm not trying to get that either. So I would go ahead and tell the guys I was not on the pill. Or I wasn't on the pill. It was a good thing I didn't tell them. I told them I wasn't, because I wasn't. But I told them I wasn't on birth control. That way, we have to use a condom, because some guys think that it's cute not to use it. Well, a lot of guys and women, let's be real, think that it's cute to not use protection in that regard, which maybe it is. Hey, whatever. So that's what I would do. I would just tell them I'm not. And you know what? For as long as we're talking about me and we're really getting to know me, and this is not conversations that I even have touched on my blog, which is babalabrooke.com. And I also have a YouTube channel. because I have no friends. And my family is 9-10 hour difference from where I am. And they have lives and they're busy. So that's why I have all these avenues of and also I'm somebody who likes to journal. So that's why I started the blog about more than 10 years ago. But I had other blogs before that and other things. But this particular blog, I was like, I'm going to start one that I'm going to continue to have. And it was like some kind of a commitment and a challenge to myself, because I had others that I was like, maybe not, let's leave it. So this one, I named it after myself because it was part of the commitment. And so I've had this particular one since 2011. It's 2022 now, so 11 years, or a little longer. Now, back to the point. For as long as we're getting to know each other. I wonder where I was going with that thought, because I know that's how the sentence started. Oh, the guys that have been a part of my life romantically, I put that in quotes, because I would think that we were romantic, and then I'll realize that maybe, I'm the only one who's romantic, and this person was just, what the fuck do I know what they were doing? I have not been in relationships, hindsight being 2020 or 2022, with people who I believe loved me. So it's just as well that I never wanted children. Maybe, I would, if I had been in a relationship where I felt loved and commitment and whatever, maybe I would have looked this person in their eyes and been like, oh my God, I want to have your babies. You know what I mean? Or maybe they would have wanted to have babies. Well, I have had people offering to have kids with me. A lot of people have children, just as a fact. And some people would want, this was a going theme around where I grew up and around the people that I was around, among the people I was around. They would just so not believe that I do not have a baby. Like they're with a girl who doesn't have a child. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, we need to change that. Obviously, they already have firstborns with other women, other women's firstborns, because for them, it's no longer firstborn once somebody has more than one child, right? And I'm thinking to myself, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you have all these children. You don't even know what the fuck's going on in their lives. You don't know when their birthdays are. You're not a part of their life. And now you want to come here and just be so proud. I don't know if it's an African thing. You want to be so proud that you've proven yourself once again that you're a man's man, and you impregnated another woman who doesn't even have a child, and now they're going to have their first child's going to be your child. Fuck the fuck off. You're joking. Like, no, boo. Like, no, I'm not on birth control. Good. Let's have a baby. I'm thinking to myself, even if, because here's one of the things that they used to do, this podcast is going a totally interesting direction. So hopefully those guys didn't tune out, because here we go talking about who the heck knows what. They would also do that thing. Oh, God. They would do the thing of tearing the condom in the tip so that you're having sex and you're not protected. The condom is just a penis ring at this point, because once it's torn, it's going to, when you do the thrusting, it's going to end up in the top. And now we're just having sex unprotected, right? Yes. So anyway, this, I'm saying, oh God, and whatever, because as I'm remembering tearing the condom, I'm remembering that there was a trend, especially, they said it was, I lived in the area called KwaZulu-Natal. It's the province or state where KwaZulu, so it's mainly Zulus. Those are the blacks that live in that area. There are Zulus, and or at least the tribe of blacks, and then it's Zulus and lots of Indians. Very large population of Indians live in KwaZulu-Natal, and the whites too, and coloreds. Coloreds are basically, I don't want to say they're mixed, black and white, because let's just say they're mixed, or descendants thereof. Or not, don't quote me on that. So, but it's like a race in South Africa, coloreds, believe it or not. Not that many of them in KwaZulu-Natal though, but they're there. In that area, the guys used to, in other areas of South Africa, back to the point quickly already, thank you, stay with me. They would grow the pinky finger, they would grow it, which used to make me jealous because guys have such like strong nails. I have weak nails that if you follow me on Instagram, of course, with Babala Brook, I have a little story part where I post my nail colors on there because it's one of my passions, nail polish. Hopefully, before I die, I do end up with a nail polish line as well as a lip stick, lip gloss, or whatever line. And perfume. Those are my 3 favorite things. And shoes and bags. Oh, it's only at 15 minutes. I'm shocked. I feel like I've been talking forever. Now, what they would do, they would grow that pinky nail. And apparently, I asked one guy who I went on a couple of dates with. Oh, one of the worst kissers I have ever kissed. First of all, I didn't even want to kiss him. There was zero chemistry. And he had that long nail. So that was already like one sure way to keep my vagina dry. And it's just like the kisses were so freaking wet and the mouth was open like a lot. So it was a lot of, I needed windshield wipers for my face because, ugh. So I guess, he did make me wet, just not, the right wet. This guy, he had those nails. And when I asked him, what's the deal with these? And I asked him like the first day that we met, before we even went on a date, before he even gave me my number. And he was like, well, it comes in handy. Like if I want to, in the office, and I want to like remove a stapler, what is it? If I want to remove a staple or whatever, then I will use, I'm like, they have staple removers. Why don't you use, like, what are you talking about? And he worked for a furniture store, Joshua Door. I don't know if he's still around. It was one of the bigger ones. And also, if I want to scratch my ear, like, how disgusting is that? Use an ear, whatever, like everyone else, and throw it away. You freak. Why are you gonna keep your what are the ear things called? Anyway. That was his explanation, but then I later found out that that's what guys use it to break that condom in one swoosh move, and boom, somebody's going to be pregnant. I don't know if somebody did that to me because they're not going to tell me, hey, I broke the condom. Well, I do know because I would look at the condom afterwards, and half the guys are slobs that I slept with anyway. They're not trying to clean up after themselves. They did what they did. Thank you for opening up for me. And now clean yourself and clean me and pick up after me, which it served me just fine because then I get to see that, okay, we're good. And back to, man, that was a tangent if there ever was one. I'm trying to think, like, how far, short of turning this thing off and listening to the beginning, which I'm not going to do because I have no intentions of even doing a lot of editing on this. I'm just going to, like, what is this, a paid for radio station? Not that I don't respect people who listen, but I'm trying not to burp or fart or pee during this thing so that I can minimize the editing that is going to have to be done post-production. So, oh, wow. I haven't been tracking for a couple of months. And for those of you who don't know, I am #TruckerBrook on social media based on the fact that I'm a truck driver or a commercial, whatever, truck driver. And during my years of tracking, which haven't been that many, I realized that I was starting to be forgetful. And I have very sharp memory. It's something that I pride myself in and something that I wonder if I should pride myself in. I feel like that's not a good preposition for that, in. But there was a time I even was in the 99-cent store looking at the vitamins that they have there. Normally I get my vitamins from Walmart because they have everything I need, and I just go there. And they have the cheap brand Spring Valley, which is a Walmart brand. So I was at the 99-cent store, and I was like, oh, what do they have here that's $1 that I can just, grab? Of course, nothing's $1 anymore, or 99 cents. And there was a lady there doing her thing, minding her own business. I usually take longer in aisles than regular people. So I was standing there and I said, man, I can't even remember what I was looking for. Maybe first and foremost, I should get something from memory. And she said, take ginkgo biloba. I was like, really? She said, yeah, it works. I looked at it, it was right in front of me, $1 and 30 pills inside, 30 tablets. What's the difference between a pill and a tablet? 30 tablets, 1 per day. So I took ginkgo biloba. When I ran out, I went and bought more ginkgo biloba. And I don't know if it did work, but I tell you what, I remembered to buy it next time. So that was a plus, right? I say all that to say, now I'm realizing, like, whenever I do like a recording and I'm like, oh, where was I? I managed to remember where I was, which is so impressive to me and exciting, because I don't want to feel like, oh, maybe it's because I'm getting old or whatever. But maybe just taking this break from a life that I didn't like is doing me good. Because, even now I was like, oh, that was a long tangent. How far, where was I, blah, blah, blah. And then I remembered. That's why I went on this new tangent of talking about ginkgo biloba. So, hey, you're welcome. For your memory or memory loss or whatever, look up ginkgo biloba or just buy it from the 99-cent store. Unfortunately, we don't have a 99-cent store around here. It's one of my wishes. I even looked up, like, what is it a franchise? What do we need to? Because I really think that this area would benefit from a 99-cent store. Every area could and would and should get one. So I was like, is it a franchise? What is necessary for one? I was thinking of investing in the 99-cent store franchise, but it's not a franchise. So alas, maybe I should contact them and say, can you come and open up here? And can I get like a finder's fee or something to that effect? Okay. Now let's see if I still remember where I was. So I am proud. I'm excited. I love that now I'm regular, because having used not the pill. Well, I did use the pill at some point too, but that was when I came to America, because when in America you do as Americans do. When I did, over the years, I used birth control so much. We don't call it birth control. We call it, apart from injection, we don't call it birth control, that whole process. Back in South Africa, we call it family planning. That's the phrase that we use. So that's another, difference, fun fact for you. So it messed up, my system, because I wasn't on my period when I was using the injection. It stopped the period, and then it came, and then I stopped, I think, taking it, because I was like, why am I doing this? I want to be skinny, and apparently it's making me fat, and apparently it's giving me headaches, and apparently it's this, that, and the other. So let me not even, I don't know. So I stopped for a while, and then I went back. And in that process of stopping and going back, I had my period every day for a year, literally. And I went, oh my gosh, it's a whole another. Good thing this is a period-based episode, because lots of period talks. Eventually, my period ended up being regular. I wonder if it was because I started taking the pill. No, it wasn't. But I tell you what, I think that taking the pill, which wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 to 5 years ago, I think it did make a difference in my period life, because I'm somebody who would have my period for like 4 to 5 days in a row. But having taken the pill, it's one that starts with the F. I think the name of it starts with an F. And then, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think so. And when I started taking it, let's not go there. No, I don't think it's the pill. So I noticed the most recent 3 months, I hope you, even though I'm a little scatterbrained, I hope you're following and you stick around. In the most recent months, maybe this year so far, I've noticed that my period will come early by like a day, maybe 2. But, it's still kind of regular. But before, it was on the dot, on the 28th day, I would start my period. On the 28th day, I'll start my period. So it's always welcome when it comes a day or 2 early, because, then I don't have to deal with the problems. One of the things that I've mentioned in the previous episode was that I do suffer from PMDD, or major PMS extreme. And one of the side effects or the actual effects, I feel like there is another word for that. What was that? Is that I get constipated for a long 2 weeks, some days more than others. I say all that to say, and of course, one of the things is periods. You can look up the previous episode, maybe 2 before, I don't know. I mention this because when I do start my periods, if my periods, for example, start in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, that day I'm going to start not being constipated. That very day, the constipation is going to go away. It's like somebody turned on a switch. All systems go. No pun intended. But literally, all the things that are the side effects or the effects of PMS or PMDD, everything stops the day the periods start. Feeling miserable? Nope. I'm excited. I'm high. I love life. I'm bouncing off the walls. My energy is back, because you get a little lethargic and tired with the PMS. No, ma'am. Not on the very day my period starts. I'm going to the toilet. When I was younger and I didn't know that the constipation was a result of PMS, I used to think, oh my God, I'm PMS. Oh my God, I'm constipated. Let me do something about it. And then I'll take like a laxative, and it wouldn't work. And I'm like, what? And then I'll take it again. The following day, like, hello, nothing. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take 2, if I'm taking tablets. Maybe I'll take 2 next time. Oh, no, ma'am. Nothing. Like I said, it's like the switch is up or down. Another fun fact about South Africa, our switches for lights are the opposite direction. So if you put it up, no pun intended, to turn it on in America, it's down in South Africa. So that's another fun fact for you. So it was, and then on the day of my period, I noticed over time, when I finally figured out that, around this time of the month, I always get constipated. And I got tired of buying laxatives that are not even going to work. The day of my periods, I'm not just going to not be constipated. I am going to be getting the results of taking a laxative. Can you believe that shit? Oh, pun intended. All of it will come out in a way as if I took a laxative the previous day. It's like somebody had clogged it, pun intended. So, yeah, So I was like, yeah, let me not put myself through that, because all systems are going to go anyway when I'm on my period. Let's just work with it. So I do drink a lot of hot water in the morning, which usually stimulates. That's another thing that you can do, whether you're PMSing or not. If you're somebody who's trying to go, one of the better things you can do is to drink. Some people say 1 or 2 glasses of water. I'm a little exaggerated, so I drink 2 or 3 liters, sometimes up to a gallon at once of hot water, sometimes just black tea. Just 1 tea bag in 2 liters of water for me, but usually just that. And some people put a tablespoon or 2 or 3 of apple cider vinegar. It's really just about the warm thing that you're drinking that's going to stimulate first thing in the morning. Some people will brush their teeth first, or you can just gargle with mouthwash. Some people say don't even brush your teeth. I don't know about this. I'm not advocating for this part. But some people say you don't even have to. Actually, they say do not brush your teeth. You want that saliva with morning breath. Gross. Imagine like those people who spit the really, wow, it's been 30 minutes now, I have to go. That gross, thick spit. I don't know about that. I guess you spit it out and then you just don't brush your mouth. I don't know. I don't have that spit also, so there's that. I don't know. I feel like I have at some point when I was back in the day. Maybe it's a diet thing. I don't know. Not that my diet right now is any different. This is really shitty. For as long as we're talking about shit. But drinking some people will say coffee. Apparently coffee has those effects, but also the fact that coffee is warm. So it's a nice combination of 2 things that apparently do work. So I do drink a lot of fluids which stimulate my system and make me go. Even in times of PMS, I will have that benefit. It won't be as much as I feel like you still have in your stomach. You feel like you could go some more. We're just talking. And then it's like, okay, so now you're going to walk around bloated, feeling like you need to go, which sucks because I just remember that this was the reason I started doing this episode. Because I just came out of the toilet and I was like, I spend so much time trying to go in the morning. Because once that hot water thing triggers, I have to go as much as possible. Sometimes you go like several times and then everything is completely out. I know this because I'll tell you one day why. Everything's out and then you're done. But if everything is not out and you miss a bit, then you're going to feel like you need to go. Not need to go, but you feel like you should go, but you don't have the need to go. That's a shitty feeling. Because who wants to feel that way? And you're feeling a little bloated. Now you're taking something for bloatedness. I take stuff like I'll take something before meals or with meals. If I'm eating something like a vegetable that doesn't like my stomach, that's a whole nother episode. And then sometimes I feel like, okay, that didn't really work. Now I need to take something that you take post meals to take care of the digestion or whatever. Sometimes really I feel like I'm Michael Jackson, and I've used this analogy before, where they gave him something to go to sleep and they gave him something to wake up. I feel like, I'm on life support and my systems need to be supported or else I'm fucked. Right now, of course, if you do that drinking and you drink a lot, hot water or hot drink will make you need to pee faster or more than you would have if you had drunk the same amount of liquids, but not hot. It comes out quicker, from my experience. So if you drink, for example, I was living on the road in the truck, and if I was still doing the same system of drinking a lot, but I would start my days 2 hours ahead of when I needed to shower. So I would have the 2 hours to do nothing, and then I would go and take a shower, and then I would leave. And it got to a point where I had to drive to work, so I didn't have like the luxury. This is now when I was no longer living in the truck. I didn't have the luxury of like 2 hours beforehand, and then the 30 minutes of showering and getting ready, and then the 30 to 45 minutes of driving. Like, how much time do I have to sleep? So then I would do everything within 2 hours, and then I would do everything within an hour and a half. My point of that is, watch your schedule and your day. If you're going to drink a lot more than just a little bit and you're going to be stuck in traffic, yeah, good luck. You know what I mean? So be careful. That's like a caveat. I think we're done. It's 9, 10, 11, 12, just kidding. And looks like I still have a little bit of tea here. I just had breakfast. Sometimes I'll try to design my breakfast in such a way that hopefully it's something that's going to make me go on days that I feel like I didn't completely go during my PMS period. So then I will okay, let's have something where hopefully it's going to stimulate my stomach. Not that anything does. So I'll have an orange or a tomato in my meal, or oatmeal sometimes, and make it really thin and loose, so that hopefully it just triggers something in there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a struggle. I'm not fucking around. It is a real struggle. If you do share my sentiments, or you don't, or whatever, give me a 5-star rating, please, because I'm asking nicely. And send me a message on social, not like a DM, just find me on there and follow me and comment or whatever. And I do appreciate a subscription on my YouTube channel, which is Babala Brook, and on my social, I'm at Babala Brook. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you gained something from these rumbles of an African accented truck driver who lives in the middle of nowhere in the desert, who suffers from PMS. Thank you and goodbye. I'll talk to you next time. Toodaloo.